Now, this section that you guys have probably all been waiting for, the Marvel section of this series that I've been doing on the Disney Investor Day. And my gosh, by the end of today, my voice is going to be gone. It's going to be absolutely gone because I have to record my Mandalorian review right after this because Mandalorian is coming out right after this. But let's quickly talk about Marvel because we got 4 trailers for the 4 shows that they're doing and some announcements of some new shows. So let's just jump right into this with the WandaVision trailer that they showed. And this show I've been pumped from the very beginning, ever since the first trailer, or ever since they first announced that it was going to be, basically each episode is going to be a different era of a sitcom. And it's super weird and bizarre, and it seemed kind of reminiscent of Legion, which I absolutely love Legion. I have a review for the entire season on that. Another video of mine that did really well. And my gosh, this trailer looked awesome. My theory is that she's basically trying to put together Vision's Mind Stone back together, and she basically messes up her own mind in the process. A lot of trippy footage. Monica Rambeau making her appearance. You got the agent from Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then you got Kat Dennings from the Thor movies coming back in this trailer, and a lot of wacky stuff. This show looks insane, looks crazy, and by the end of it, she's probably going to tear a hole through the multiverse. I'm not going to get into spoilers of this character that was possibly leaked to be in it, but that gets me excited. And of course, you got all these Spider-Man casting announcements and how this leads directly into Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which they're filming right now in, I believe, London, and she's going to be in it, of course, and then that leads directly into Spider-Man. So this is basically going to be from series to movie, a 3, I guess, I want to say a 3-movie arc, but a 3-event arc through all of these that's going to basically set up what the state of the Marvel Universe is going to be going forward. It's going to probably introduce the X-Men. It's going to introduce all these different elements from all these different universes, bring it all together into the one giant Marvel Cinematic Universe that they're putting all together, and this show is going to be the start of all of it. The first thing we're ever going to see from Phase 4 since poor Black Widow was delayed, and it's going to come out next May. I cannot wait for the show January. As soon as my Mandalorian reviews are done, I'm going to have a little dry spell of what to review. Obviously, I'm going to have Soul. I'm going to have Wonder Woman on Christmas. But then we're going to jump straight into this WandaVision show. I cannot wait for that to kick forward, and this trailer just looked awesome. And then, of course, we had the Falcon and Winter Soldier, which, when they announced all their series back when they announced Phase 4, this one and Loki were the 2 that I was most excited about. And I honestly think the tables have turned. Loki is still the one I'm most excited for, next to WandaVision. And then this one is actually at the bottom of all the trailers that they released today because I honestly felt the budget of a TV show really hindered this trailer. I don't know. It felt like maybe it was the style of everything, the color, and just the look of the show that they have put up until this point. It just didn't look as... I mean, I wanted something like Winter Soldier out of the show, and this looks a lot more colorful and bright. And I don't know. It just didn't seem as gritty as I wanted it to be for it being kind of like maybe it was just my perception was it was going to be more like the Winter Soldier, but that's not really going to be what it's about. It's very different than what I was expecting from it. Doesn't mean it's going to be bad. It's going to come out, I believe, in March. Or no, Loki's going to be May. This one's going to be March of next year. So crossing my fingers that this is good. I love these 2 actors' rapport, especially in Civil War when they're kind of, fighting back and forth with each other, and that's what got me excited when they had this whole thing get set up in Endgame of giving Falcon the shield. The Captain America moniker is going to him. It's about him trying to earn that shield and him earn the name of being that symbol that the people need to see. People need to look up and see a Captain America figure. That's what the people need, and now that you've lost that, who's going to fill that slots? And this is hopefully what the show is going to be. It's going to be Falcon trying to fit into that spot, fighting against the villain from Civil War coming back, which is exciting. So I'm still excited for the show. The trailer didn't do a lot for me. The action looked awesome. The end of the trailer where Falcon's flying through the canyons, that was incredible action. I loved that from it. And what they said was going to be a 6-episode movie, basically. It's going to be a movie cut into little episodes, and that is what gets me excited for this. So crossing my fingers on this one. I didn't think it looked amazing from the trailer, but I don't know. It could be great, or it could fall flat on its face, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think just my perception of the trailer was not exactly what I had in mind, but now that I have an idea of what the show is going to be, hopefully it's going to be good. And then we have the Loki trailer, which this was the highlights from the entire event. All the Star Wars stuff kicked everything off. Then we had a break of the National Geographic, which was... Thank you for that break, Disney, because I was exhausted after the Star Wars announcements and after the Disney announcements and Pixar announcements, and by the time we got to Marvel, I was just exhausted. And this Loki trailer brought all the life back into me because this trailer was awesome. The trailer kicks off with the events of Endgame, of seeing Loki grab that Tesseract and disappear. Where did he go after that? Well, he went on to hopefully mess up a bunch of things. I'm excited to see what his adventures are going to be, being captured by Owen Wilson and I believe like the Time Police, the TVA. I'm not exactly sure what this organization is or what they do, but the scope and the scale of this show and the cinematography and how cinematic it looked. Like my basically my criticisms with what I had about the Falcon and Winter Soldier show was completely gotten rid of from this one, because this one did look cinematic. This one did look like the budget was straight from a movie. This one looked epic and grand, and there's so many locations, so many places, and like a heist element and a prison break element. And what is this going to be? Is this going to be like a crime thriller? I believe is what they said on stage. This thing gets me pumped because this character, as witty and great as he is, we're going back to a 2012 Loki of him right after the events of the first Avengers movie. He's going to be more evil. He's going to be more that character instead of the Thor Ragnarok Loki that we saw. So this one had me the most pumped and excited. Everything about this trailer I loved. I don't have a bad thing to say about it. Maybe the logo went on like maybe 5 too many fonts, but I don't know. I have nothing to complain about this. May of next year cannot come soon enough, and it's going to be fantastic to have WandaVision lead directly into Falcon and Winter Soldier, lead that directly into Loki. We're going to have TV shows up until May and June, so that's going to be very exciting. Alright, and last but not least, for the trailers that they showed for the Marvel shows is the What If animated show voiced over by Jeffrey Wright. And like I said in my tweets, I will listen to anything that guy says. If he's doing a voiceover for some crappy, show or whatever, I'm listening to it because why not? It's Jeffrey Wright. And this show looked awesome. The animation style looked interesting. The different stories that they're taking from, obviously the Captain Britain, the Captain America story switched over to Peggy Carter. That looked awesome. The Marvel Zombies, how great is that? And of course you have Chadwick Boseman returning for his role one last time in this animated show, switching out with him being captured instead of Star-Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy, and so he becomes Star-Lord. That's an interesting one. I didn't know they were doing that one. And obviously you have the Watcher, voiced by Jeffrey Wright, and all these different storylines and all these different multiverses and worlds. You have Doctor Strange against this other darker Doctor Strange. I don't know what that's about. But yeah, you can play with a lot of things. You just got to see Robert Downey Jr. in that donut once again. You got to see Sam Jackson at one point. You got to see all these different characters, and all of them are going to come back and do the voices for these characters. And it just has me pumped. I cannot wait for this show. Looked interesting, looked like a lot of fun, and I can't wait. Alright, and we did have a little sizzle reel of the Miss Marvel show. They have just cast an actress. They went during quarantine, did a lot of interviews, and that actress seemed really pumped and really excited about getting this role, and I'm really happy for her for getting such a great opportunity, because not only is she going to be in her own Miss Marvel show, which the character is inspired by Captain Marvel, but she's going to be in the Captain Marvel 2 movie, directed by Nia DaCosta, by the way, which she is a fantastic director, and I cannot wait for her Candyman. I know it was delayed, but that little shadow puppet trailer that she did for it was incredible. Like, that inspired me to maybe try to do a style like that for one of my short films I do over the summer. And so I absolutely loved that, and her directing this movie, hopefully you get a much better Captain Marvel. I really enjoyed the first Captain Marvel movie, but get her behind the director's chair, I think that's exactly what that movie needed, was a director that had more of a direct vision of what they want for that story and for Captain Marvel herself, and for Miss Marvel too. So that little duo makes me really excited. Then I did want to talk about She-Hulk, which, they finally confirmed the casting of Tatiana Maslany as She-Hulk, and then you got Mark Ruffalo popping up, I think very briefly in that show, but you're going to have the Abomination. Tim Roth himself is coming back to play the Abomination in this show, which is very exciting. I've been wanting Abomination to come back. I had some theories that maybe he's going to pop up on Infinity War or Endgame. He did not, but coming back for She-Hulk makes a lot of sense. Everything is starting to round out for that, so I'm getting excited for that as well. And they also announced a couple new shows, starting with Secret Invasion, which, come on. Secret Invasion, that huge crossover story event with the Skrulls and Sam Jackson, who was seen at the end of, I believe it was Spider-Man Far From Home after credits scene, him up in space with the Skrulls. You're going to have that whole Secret War, the Secret Invasion entire storyline start off, or maybe the whole thing will be completed within this series. I'm not sure if this is a limited type thing. I think all these Marvel shows are limited one season type thing. Maybe if they do a second season, it'll be several years later and be like, the Falcon and Winter Soldier be like Falcon and Winter Soldier 2. That's essentially what those shows are going to end up being if they end up making a second season for any of them. And this one gets me excited because now you're getting a Sam Jackson show with Ben Mendelsohn coming back as Talos. So this show makes me excited because I heard from all these people that the Secret Invasion War storyline was so fascinating, so great, and this was the next giant crossover that they were going to do. And now that we have a show announced for it, it's not exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking that was going to be the next grand scale, Endgame type thing. That was going to be their new Endgame, was to get through Secret Invasion, but maybe not. Maybe that's a small part of their Phase 4. So that makes me excited for what is going to be the big thing, which hopefully, cross my fingers, that it's going to be Galactus. They're going to do a lot of multiverse stuff. They're bringing in the X-Men. Why not do Galactus? And this one gets me excited mainly because I can gloat about this one. My brother and I did a video on the Phase 4 announcements before they did that. We did prediction video, and we said that IronHeart was possibly going to be a movie in the Phase 4, and that did not end up happening. But they did have brand new casting announcement for the actress who's going to play Ironheart in her own series. And again, all of these things will tie directly into the movies, they said. And same thing with the Armor Wars. I believe that's what it's called. The new Don Cheadle War Machine show, which is basically about what Tony Stark's biggest fear was in the comics, was his armor and his tech getting to the wrong hands. So that's what that show is going to be about. And then you cannot go without talking about something that gets me extremely, extremely excited for a lot of different reasons, and that is the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special that they're doing, which is probably going to be released in the holiday of 2022, because it's supposed to be filmed at the same time as Guardians 3, and it's going to be live action. You're going to have all the cast come back to that. They're going to film both of those, and the holiday before the year that the third Guardians of the Galaxy movie is coming out, I believe, is when they're going to release this holiday special, which James Gunn tweeted that he's a fan of the Star Wars special, so who knows what we're going to get in this. This could be nuts. This could be completely hysterical. I think it's going to be fun. And why not? And I think they also announced an I Am Groot mini short film show. Kind of like the Fork You Ask a Question type thing. Not as excited about that, but why not more Groot? I mean, Baby Grogu has been such a success. Why not bring back Groot for his own show? Because why not? And I did want to talk about two more things in this Marvel panel. I think there's one thing that I might have skipped over, but there's been so much that I've been talking about this, and my voice is shot, and I still have to do my Mandalorian review, like I said. So I do want to talk briefly about the Fantastic Four announcement that they made. Very last thing is what they did was announce Fantastic Four. And that one I'm just pumped about because we have yet to get a good Fantastic Four movie. The last one was complete trash. The two before that had their fun, goofy moments. I have some memories watching them as a kid. I believe the second Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, I actually watched a torrented version with my family because my dad found a website. It's like, oh, we can watch this movie early because it was leaked like 2 months early. And we watched it on a tiny little 10-inch monitor crowded around like a desk, just huddled over each other with garbage quality. I remember that. I have a very distinct memory of watching that movie 2 months early because it was leaked. And yeah, that's my memory of Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer. Not great. Obviously, we got no casting announcements, but the director of the Spider-Man films, John Watts, is going to come back to direct that after he does Spider-Man 3, which will probably be the last time we get Spider-Man in the MCU. Cross my fingers that that's not the case, because I believe Spider-Man might be going off onto his own thing, because we've had a bunch of Spider-Man 3 announcements with the casting of Jamie Foxx as Electro, bring him back, the possible of getting Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield back, possibly getting Tobey Maguire to reprise his role as Spider-Man from the Sam Raimi movies, which of course Sam Raimi is directing Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which is probably going to introduce all these multiverse elements, and you bet you're probably going to see all these different worlds of the X-Men, old X-Men movies with Hugh Jackman, and maybe the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, and maybe the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies, and this is all going to be thrown together in Spider-Man 3 with all this casting announcements, and of course Alfred Molina being the most recent thing, along with every meme on Twitter, which is getting exhausting. Get original, people. Do something different with that meme. It's just any random person is going to be in Spider-Man 3 because everybody's in that movie, apparently. We get the joke, guys. But yes, I'm excited for that. But last but not least, what I want to mention is the announcement on Black Panther 2. Brief thing, they're still aiming for that July of 2022 release date. Ryan Coogler is still working very, very hard on getting the script correct and directing and everything put together for that movie, because obviously we had the absolute tragic death of Chadwick Boseman, which I am very excited to see his last role in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, which is coming out, I believe, the day before Christmas or something like that. I cannot wait to watch and review that movie. I'm pumped to see it. I loved him in Da 5 Bloods. And, of course, as T'Challa in Black Panther, absolutely devastating loss, and they announced that they're not going to recast his role because he was as culturally impactful to so many people as Hugh Jackman as Wolverine is perfect casting. You got Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, perfect casting. You got all these great actors cast perfectly in their comic book roles, and they believe that Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa was one of those, and I would tend to agree. I absolutely love that movie, and I cannot wait for the second one. Whatever they do with that with Shuri, or maybe with M'Baku, whatever they do, I'm supporting it, and they're not going to recast characters, so I don't know. It's just, I wanted to put that into this video as well, because that was an integral part of this entire event. And that is where I'm going to end it. That's where I'm going to end off this entire thing with the Disney Investor Day conference thing. Was really fun to watch and talk about. I am completely beat and exhausted. It is, oh crap, it's The Mandalorian is episode right now. I'm going to go watch The Mandalorian right now. Subscribe to the channel. Go watch my videos. Comment below what you're excited about. Did I miss anything? Watch my other 2 videos on the Star Wars and the Disney shows, or everything. I am flustered because I just looked at the clock and it's 1:01 and I am a minute behind on watching Mandalorian. I need to watch that and do another review. Oh, I'm tired. Subscribe, please. For the love of God, make these videos get some views. More than 2, guys. My goal is more than 2 views. Bye.